Hi, I'm Chris Denmead, one of the writers for Arisia, the science fiction convention in Boston, Massachusetts. I'm also the host of the Radio Horror Show on 91.3 FM, WCUW. With me is my co-host, Pamela Isley.
Hello.
And we're here to talk about some of the do's and don'ts and the ups and downs of the Arisia Science Fiction Convention, which is happening this January, Martin Luther King Day weekend, as it has happened every year since the 1980s. And Arisia is a big science fiction convention that takes place over 4 days, starting on Friday and going to Monday. And it's not your usual science fiction convention. If you've ever been to things like Dragon Con or Rock and Shock or the San Diego Comic-Con, the convention basically covers more on the scale of authors and writers and artists and musicians, and with panels and a lot of different discussions.
And a cosplay masquerade.
Huge cosplay masquerade, a big gaming interactive community as well for tabletop and card games, including video games as well. So if you go into Arisia expecting to find celebrities like Mark Hamill, the cast of Battlestar Galactica, this isn't quite that type of convention. It's conventions of days of long ago.
Okay, and now that we know a little bit about Arisia, we are going to talk about things that you should and should not bring to pretty much any convention in general, but especially in this case. If you need earphones, you need chargers, you need a camera, you need backup batteries, you need extra memory cards so that you don't miss any photo opportunities with the cosplayers or any of your favorite artists or authors. You should also bring cash. Money is very important. Not everyone takes a credit card. I know you think it's very convenient, people have Square, that's great, but not everyone will, and you don't want to miss out. Now, do you? And you don't want to miss panels because you're waiting in line for a whole hour at the ATM.
Yeah, and those ATMs at any convention, not just Arisia, can be hit on more often than a whack-a-mole. So you definitely don't want to be going to those things because everyone is going to have the mentality that, oh, I'll just go to the ATM. Sometimes those ATMs aren't always filled up. And honestly, where Arisia is, it's not exactly close to the center of Boston. So you have to walk a mile back to town, or maybe take a train, jump on the Silver Line to get back to the main part of the MBTA train station to get to a bank. Now, when you get off at the MBTA, there are banks within that little the hub of the station that you can go to for cash. So just do your planning ahead of time. But as she definitely said, you know, bring cash. A couple of the other things you definitely want to take care of is a big point is if you are coming to Arisia and let's say you're sick, make sure you bring lots of hand sanitizer with you and cold medication. If you're already at Arisia and you're getting sick, then definitely make sure you prepare ahead of time. But if you definitely are dying of some type of flu epidemic or bubonic plague or coming down with zombie stuff, you might want to reconsider coming to the con. You can contact arisia.org to find out how you can possibly get a refund if you are coming down with the bubonic plague.
Which brings us to our next point: eat, shower, sleep. It's important to stay properly nourished and properly hydrated, and you're going to be in close quarters with thousands of people for pretty much the entire weekend, so it's best not to stink. So do everyone a favor, pop a breath mint.
You want to get at least 5 hours of sleep at a convention. That's what Arisia recommends. At least 2 meals. I try to get at least 1 and snack throughout the day, which is fine too, but make sure you stay extremely hydrated. Don't fill up on caffeinated drinks like soda the entire time. I mean, at night at Arisia, there's a lot of great parties to go to, and a lot of authors are going to have unveilings of their books. So they're going to have a ton of drinks there. So I would save all of the super caffeinated drinks for the evening. So that way you can stay up and stay energized. But throughout the day, be smart. Drink vitamin water, drink water. Tea is fine. But don't fill up on any type of alcohol or soda-like beverage throughout the day.
Definitely, because you don't want to miss out on the parties. But make sure you're following the rules of your hotel too. You don't want to get kicked out and find yourself out on the streets of Boston for half the weekend. Right.
Yes.
And next, while you're there, make sure be mindful of your costume. Make sure you're not bopping anyone over the head with your Omega sword.
Oh.
Make sure you're not getting
Walking around the con like this.
your cape stuck in the escalator.
Whoa. Yeah, it's happened at Arisia, and it's happened at a lot of other conventions. Someone's gotten their cape. Let's say you're dressed as Superman, Batman, whomever, and your cape is down to your ankles, it's gonna get caught in that thing. So if you go on the escalator, if you're in the elevator, make sure you're mindful of your cape. It's not dragging on the ground, because otherwise you're gonna have yourself a really serious accident. And we don't want anyone to have an accident. Even though at Arisia, there are the naughty nurses doing the blood drive, so you can definitely go down there if you're in dire need of a good registered nurse. But don't forget to give blood with the naughty nurses.
Oh yeah, I saw that. That's good stuff.
Yes, they're always there at Arisia every single year willing to take your blood.
Okay, and now, not to be too negative, but nobody likes nerd gatekeeping. We've all had this, like, what I like is great, the new stuff is no good, and it's okay to have discussions. But what's not okay is acting like you invented this. You did not invent Star Trek. You didn't. You're not Gene Roddenberry, get over it. And on that note, also, costumes do not equal consent. Make sure that you are asking before you take pictures, because really the definition of stalker is taking pictures of someone without their knowledge and posting them on the internet without telling them. It's not okay, it's not cool. Ask them how they should pose with you. Don't just take it upon yourselves to go putting your hands here, there, and everywhere, and nobody likes it.
Just think about if somebody came up to you and just took your picture and ran off with it. You don't want to know what they're probably doing with that picture they just took of you. It's just not even worth getting into. Use your imagination and put yourself in their shoes.
And you can compliment someone's costume, but it's not appropriate to go, hey, nice boobs.
Yes, no.
It's not okay.
You can go up to these people and talk to them. You can go up to anybody at a convention. You're at a convention with thousands of people that are into the same thing that you're into. It might not be Battlestar Galactica. It might not be Tolkien. It might not be Arrow. But you're gonna find someone there that you have the same level of interest in. And if you're like a social hermit and you just don't really get out that often, and this is the convention that this is the first time you're ever going to meet people at and to interact with, maybe your cousin's bringing you, maybe your friend told you about it, go up to people that you see maybe at a panel afterwards and talk to them about what the panel was about. If you're in the video game room and you're sitting there playing video games with somebody, then interact with them while you're playing video games. Don't just stare at the screen. One of the best times to do this is during the tabletop gaming section of Arisia, which is open till like 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning, I think. It's huge. That's the best time to really get to know people. I got to know so many people over one of the best card games, which was Cards Against Humanity, because the questions that you pull that out and the silly things that you can come up with, you really open up the conversation when people are just like, wait, what's that reference to? And then you can explain to them, and then there you go. You met somebody new and possibly made a new friend.
Oh, so on that note though, keep track of what time the events, the panels, the films you want to see are at, so that you don't miss anything that you would like to see. So just be mindful of the times, keep up a meeting point with your friends, so that way if you do venture off from your crew, you have a way to get back in contact with each other without chasing each other in circles, because it's a big place. It's a big place.
Arisia staff is there to help you find what room it's in, because the rooms are labeled as like Mesozoic and Apothecarian room and Doodad room and Hoth room, and it can be really confusing if you don't know how the hotel structure is laid out. The map can be really confusing. That comes in the big pamphlet, so make sure you check that as well.
And make sure that if there's anything you need to do for registration or rehearsal before an event you would like to attend or be a part of, that you do that, because the masquerade has both a rehearsal and a registration beforehand.
Also, Arisia does happen to be in a hotel that has a couple of great restaurants, but if you want to eat outside those restaurants, you can go to look up the Boston area food restaurant guide online, and it'll come up with like hundreds of thousands of places that you can easily hop on the MBTA train all the way back to the station, and then point you in the right direction about where to go to for really good eats. Mexican, Chinese, Italian, Greek, whatever your food taste may be, there's something in the city of Boston for you. So you don't necessarily have to eat the con food. And Arisia does provide a great con suite right where the dealer room is. And the dealer room is located in the basement. And one half of it is the artist area. One part is where all the dealers are going to be set up. And then they have a little area for snack food and such. Yep. One of the things you definitely have to check out at Arisia is, of course, the authors and the artists that come there. A lot of these people are local to the New England area. Some do come from far away, but the local people are trying to get their product out there for you to read or for you to check out. And the artists at Arisia are absolutely amazing. The costume designers as well, the professional costume designers that come, there's the cosplayers, but then Arisia also books people that are professional costume designers. And when you have the authors there, when you have the authors at Arisia and you go to buy their book from them and they want to sign their book to you, like, you know, to Chris from Dan Kimmel, all the love, make sure that you write your name down properly for them. So if your name is something like Anastasia, that might be really hard to spell, and there might be a couple different ways to spell it. There's a couple different ways to spell Chris. So make sure you spell it out for them correctly, because so many times I've seen authors sitting there frustrated that they have just, you know, scribbled out someone's name and it's completely wrong. You don't want that to happen, so please make sure you write down their names. And also, it wouldn't hurt to also just bring your own Sharpie, because those Sharpies get run out pretty fast, or the celebrities leave their Sharpie unhooked. So have an extra with you.
Or what if you have a black hat and they only have a black Sharpie? Now what are you gonna do? Think ahead, bring a silver one.
Doing a silver one. Yes.
See? Fortune favors the prepared. But remember our tips? Be cool, be calm, be prepared, be clean. And you'll have a great time at Arisia.